Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Start with Gwen. So clearly at this point she wants to keep that victim mentality going. Because when Laura comes over to apologize for her role that she played and, Jack not getting to know her and stuff like that. Listen, I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to see it from both points of view. Okay. With Gwen, Laura is coming over saying, I'm sorry, like all the sorries in the world, is it going to make up for the lost time? Is it going to make up for the pain, the hurt, the anger? It isn't going to make up for that. Especially when she comes out of her mouth, and granted, she was being truthful. When she comes out of her mouth, she's like, well, at the end of the day, I didn't really know you, and all I really cared about was my family. Like, that's not going to do anything. Like, I understand that she's being honest, and, props to her for that, but, even the most sincere apology isn't going to make up for the time lost, Because Gwen is like, so is that going to give me back my time? Is that going to fix my childhood? No? Okay, so what the hell is the point? So I understand where Gwen is coming from. But here's the thing. Laura's like, listen, I get that I can't get you back your years that you lost with your dad, with your family and stuff like that, but you have a chance to sit there and rebuild now. At this point, I don't know with Gwen, because, Gwen comes out of her mouth, and Gwen is like, well, Jack doesn't really love me. He just feels pity for me. He just feels sorry for me. He's just, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? This is where the whole, well, it's just easy to be a victim at this point. It's easier to play the victim, poor me, like, listen, bad stuff happen to people all the time. That doesn't give, like, that didn't give her a right to blow up Abigail's marriage. It didn't give her a right to sit there and give her drugs that messed up her mind that could have probably killed her. That didn't give her a right to do that. But here she is, sitting there playing the victim card. Oh, I had a rough childhood, and my mother, she was this, and like, seriously? So is a lot of people. Do you want me to get you a violin? Like, I just, no. So that's pretty much where I stand on that scene. And here's the thing at this point about Gwen that just makes her situation just go, every time I try to feel something for her, she finds a way to just say. So, when Laura's about to leave, Gwen is like, no, you're not going anywhere. You're not just going to walk out of here and go back to your cozy life. And I'm like, so what is it with Gwen picking fights with damn near, like, elderly women? First it was with Julie at the hospital, and now it was with Laura. I'm like, has this chick just lost her damn mind? And towards the end of the scene, Gwen is sitting there by the bedside crying, while Laura is practically bleeding out. I'm like, you know what? Okay, so at this point, the writers just made a decision to just be like, you know what? We're not going to give this chick really that much layers. We're just going to make her the baddie of, Now granted, we don't know how it happened. They could have been arguing. She could have been trying to pull away. And it could have been involuntary manslaughter. But, you know what? The fact that you didn't let this woman go, the fact that she can be pretty much your grandmother. And this is like the second time you started fighting with elderly women. It's like, I can't. Now, with that being said, let's talk about this Susan chick. Because she's a moron, okay? She is an idiot. And here's the thing, I vaguely I vaguely remember a couple years ago me watching this with someone. And it kind of plays it. The reason why it triggered my mind is because Kristen calls Susan. This is after Susan saw Chloe. So Kristen calls Susan, tells her to come down to the prison. They talk, and long story short, through the power of TV magic, Kristen's like, hey, so how about we trade places since we look alike? And I vaguely, and I do say this because I could be wrong, I could just had a dream, I don't know, but I vaguely remember seeing Susan at some point, but it wasn't really Susan. I don't know if that's true, but I think that's what happened. But yeah, she was like, yeah, we sort of resemble each other. Really? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't see any of it. But okay, sure. And then, Kristen is all like, well, Chloe's dangerous, and, something happens, then, John may not make it because he's not in the best health, and poor Marlena's going to be all left alone. And Susan, listen, I don't know this woman's backstory, so I'm trying not to call her too many names in case she's, medically something. You know how it is when I sit there and say, well, she's and then next thing you know, somebody's sitting there writing, but you can't say it because technically, and I'm just like, so I don't know what's going on with Susan, but whatever reason, she seems like, well, okay, but I'll think about it. So now she's at a point of thinking about it, and, she's clearly going to do it at some point. Let's just be honest, she's going to do it. Because they look alike, and Kristen just wants to get out to make sure that Chloe stays away from Brady. Now on the other side of town, Brady, I don't know about this guy. So Brady wants to get out, and Sarah's like, listen, we gotta get you a nurse or somebody to kind of make sure that, you're good, because you're not going to be 100% once you get back. And Chloe's like, well, I'll volunteer. Chloe, even Brady was like, so, remember when I was kind of in a coma, and Kristen broke out of prison, and waved a gun around in your face like she was going to shoot you? Because, she doesn't like you. And I did lie to her. Smooth, Brady. Smooth. But, Brady's like, I don't know if it's a good idea. She's kind of jealous and, she's a little kind of unhinged. But, I don't think it's a good idea. And Chloe's like, well, but she's not getting out of jail, though, so, it'll be fine. And she persuades him that she's a good candidate for, helping them out and stuff like that, since they live next to each other. And Brady's like, oh, well, it's fine, because she won't know. Just speaking as a male, from the male species, when has saying she would never know ever worked out in our favor? Because I can't name one. But, sure, Brady. Sure. She won't know, so it's a good idea, and both of you agree, because, listen, I know people like Chloe. I do. But first of all, what the hell are you doing? Like, so, I feel like she clearly has feelings for him, okay? But she does know that his his girlfriend is a homicidal maniac. You still want to risk whatever it is that you're going to do? And Brady, why is every time I sit there and be like, maybe Brady's not that bad of a character. Maybe he'll get his act together. Maybe he's not the moron that I think he is. And then he's like, sure. Because there's no way she's going to find out. I don't know, Brady. Every time, it's like I sit there and say, I don't want to call you a moron, but yep, it's Tuesday. I'm calling him a moron. Awesome. Now, the last thing I want to sit there and talk about, I think that's about right, is the Philip, Victor, and Xander scene. Because here's the thing. Xander's tight, okay? He's mad that, once again, Philip, nearly got Brady killed. Nearly caused the family business to go under. Get raided by the FBI. Who knows? Shut down. Whole family's in danger. You cleaned up his mess. And now you're just like, nah, that's cool. You can stay here. And you can be co-CEO. You can keep your job. I mean, you only, risk the family company. Our family's lives. But nah, that's cool. Second chances. It's all good. He's my son. And I'm not going to lie. There was one part that, with Xander sometimes I'm kind of on the fence about. Because I will call him out for his BS. But when he came out his mouth, when Victor came out his mouth and he was like, one day this will all be his. Wow. Wow. Just... wow. I was like, Xander, up until this point, I was sitting there thinking you might have been overreacting a little bit before I started reading the comment section and kind of understood, like, where Xander was coming from. But, yeah, after that, yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. And Xander had enough. He was like, yo, listen, you know what? I've been over backwards. He talked about the favor he did, which kind of was a favor for himself, but whatever. He was like, I've bent over backwards for you. And at the end of the day, I'm still treated like second-rate trash. Yo, I'm out. And, Victor's like, well, just to let you know, I'm not going to be sitting there chasing after you. He's like, yeah, you know what, listen, if you came to your senses, I would still tell you to kick rocks. And he walks off. And Victor's like, well, that must have made you really happy, Philip. And even Philip was like, no, it really didn't. And even he walked away. And I'm like, yeah, Victor, you really screwed up on this one. Like, royally screwed up. Wow. On a side note, what does everyone think of Sarah's new hairdo? Do you like the super short hair or like not? I don't know. I mean, when I first saw her, that's when I used to call her Hot Sarah. I don't really know about the short hair being that short, but I guess if anyone's gonna rock it, let's see what she can do. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Funny, I had to kind of watch the rest of it on YouTube because, well, apparently they decided they want to sit there and impeach a guy that is no longer in office, and that's apparently important to people. It's like trying to write somebody up for leaving a job. You already left, and you're just like, no, we're gonna write you up. And somehow I missed the last 5 minutes of it and I had to watch it on YouTube, and that sucked. But I think that's about it. Anyway, with that being said, if I missed anything, let me know in the comment section below. And by the way, am I wrong about my memories? Like, didn't Susan at some point, or Kristen was Susan, and she had the whole little teeth thing and hair and everything like that? I don't remember. I just remember me watching it with someone, and I remember seeing that scene, and I was like, what? I don't know if I'm right and wrong. So let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. This is exactly what happens when I drink. Try this again. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I will catch everyone in the next review.